Doc Nash,
Yes,
no?
ma'am.
Welcome to our interview. Describe mo muna ano yung parang mahirap na trabaho na ginawa mo noon at ano yung mga incidents or mga sitwasyon na dinadaanan mo nung panahon na yon.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, as a medical doctor, every day is a challenge. When you're in the emergency room, anything can happen, and it's a lot of stress. Medyo, many years ago when I was very active, no, in the military, kasi when you're deployed somewhere, ikaw lang mag-isa. You will be everything in one place. Ikaw lahat na gagawa. So, your duty 24/7, 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month. So, ikaw lahat. And sometimes when you're in your bed at night, nakahiga ka lang, you're wondering when the knock will come, what case will be in the ER. So, the anticipation is always there. You don't know what case will come, especially if you're not specialized. You're a general practitioner ka lang. Sometimes yung cases nakakatakot talaga. And then, bukod sa yung cases, yung patients, minsan, you don't know how they will react, the relatives, how they will respond to you, like that.
At saka yung mga cases nyo, yung tipong mga trauma injuries, hindi ba? Dahil sa labanan,
Yes,
hindi ba? Makikita mo yung mga nasugatan talagang very bloody and everything, no? So, lagi mong na-encounter yung ganong situation. Tapos pati na lang yung, dahil na, punta ka rin sa war zone.
Yes,
diba? So, paano mo dinideal yung mga ganyang problema?
Yes, ma'am. For me, ma'am, actually, mas relaxing ako sa sa war zone. Kasi yung cases mo are very specific. There's no one to complain about how you work because you're out there to save. Like, anything you do is okay. So, like, initially it sounds scary, but once you step on the plane, of course, you realize na, oh, this could be my last day. You're flying towards the island. Then you're landing on the Hudson. Minsan, umuusok pa. You can hear the gunfire. So, it could be my last day. Inuuna there's fear, but after a while, it's a bit exciting. Then the fear usually comes afterwards. When you're lying in your bed, you're like, could have been my last day. But it's fun. But when you're feeling stressful, for me, I'm very lucky because I grew up, I was taught a particular way of coping. Like, I was taught to do meditation, be it yoga, meditation, exercise, or with my prayer beads. I do prayer beads, meditation. And it really helped. And I also noticed that with my patients, I also recommend to them. So, for example, if they're Muslim, I tell them, you pray on your beads. They have a beads also. For like Christians, go on your rosary. And people are more during that time when they are most stressed, most dependent, most vulnerable. They're open to anything. And they basically don't know what to do. So they need guidance. And this also applies, ma'am, sa regular hospital setting in the hospital. During when patients come in, they're dying or they're really struggling to survive. They're more receptive to like religious advice or spiritual advice. Because in that time when everything could be finished already, there's really no other way to address the situation. Everything's limited now. The doctor's capability to save you is limited. The medication, the equipment can only do so much. In the end, if it is your time, there's nothing we can do about it. So, for me as a doctor, I don't limit myself to the hospital aspect. I always try to encourage them the spiritual aspect also, because that is very important for me. Because for me, I also practice it myself. So, if a patient is about to expire, if they're still conscious or if the relatives are okay lang, ma'am, okay lang ba if I pray to your patient? I will pray in my own way. And there has never been a time that I got a no. It's always, yes, please pray. And then, for example, minsan, sa una, may TV pa. Pa-expire na, may TV pa. Tapos, sa cellphone. I go, ma'am, sir, siguro let's just off the TV and let's pray na lang for our patient. And then they realize, oh nga, no? You forget it. We forget these things. It's not practiced. So, yun ma'am, that's,
So you remind people what is most important at the time when a person is going to leave his body, di ba?
yes ma'am. It's not common ma'am to see a doctor to go beside the patient's ear and say prayers. Most doctors kasi it's day in day out, people die every day. You become jaded, you forget. Just okay, time of death, expire that. But then you also have to realize that for that patient and for the relatives, it's a traumatic, it's a life-changing event. And you have to feel for that, you have to empathize with that. So for me, I really talk, Mom, you can pray if you want. It's a hard time, I'm sorry, but you can pray just to pray to your loved one. Tell them, Ma'am, puntahan niyo si Sir, pagdasal kayo. So kahit nag-CPR kami, I tell the relatives to pray to the patient. Kasi,
And also yung acceptance, no? Some doctors kasi ayaw pa alam sa pasyente or sa mga kamag-anak na mamamatay na, hindi ba? So, ikaw, mas realistic yung approach mo to accept na yung malapit na yung katapusan na or pag-alis ng tao, hindi ba?
yes, ma'am. Actually, most doctors naman, they're very honest pagtapos na. Pero yung to say that there's no more chance or there's nothing we can do. Maybe they're afraid to legally say it, but so they have to show that they're still trying. But kasi some relatives really complain, but wala kayong ginawa ganun. Pero yeah, it takes, sometimes it's good to be forward about it and say, Ma'am, mukhang delikado tayo, pero we will still try our best. We will continue to do it. And you just let us know pag we will stop, and we will stop na lang. Pero yeah, it's always good to be honest with patients because a lot of patients and relatives like that honesty.
So, nakakatulong to dun sa mga kamag-anak rin na
Yes, ma'am.
yun na iintindihan nila kung ano yung dinadaanan ng kanilang loved one, hindi ba?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, it's the relatives who are one of the challenges also. Because if you're not careful, for some reason, it's happened several times. They always, I guess it's human nature to find someone to blame. And oftentimes it's the doctor or the nurses. And we've been spat on, we've been threatened, and for us, it doesn't make sense. Why are they angry at us? Parang last touch syndrome, kumbaga, ma'am. But it's just the way it is, ma'am. I guess when people are at that point, they always just want to find a reason why or someone to point a finger at. So that's one of the stresses of a doctor also, ma'am. For me, for a while, I was having chest pain and palpitations. Didn't make sense. I'm vegetarian, I work out, but then I was getting all these weird symptoms and my mental stress. So yeah, it's part of the sacrifices of being a frontline doctor also, ma'am.
So, makikita natin na for the doctor, kailangan rin together yung consciousness, yung kumbaga yung pag-iisip mo, together ka para matulungan mo rin yung ibang tao.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, maraming data. Sa Philippines, there's no data. I'm not sure there's data, but the US, there are a lot of suicide. Doctors committing suicide because of maybe just the heaviness of it, the weight of the whole experience. And it is heavy, ma'am, for me. For a while also, I had to just kind of take a step back and get my health together, my mental state together, because it after a while just keeps piling up. Because the responsibility falls on us because we are the captain of the ship, we lead the team, so it can take its toll.
So, anong message mo sa mga kaibigan natin? Paano mo, yung message mo na makatulong rin sa kanila?
Siguro, ma'am, for me, always prayers. Always seek guidance from above because there are things you cannot control. A lot of people think doctors know everything. No, we don't. As a matter of fact, it's a guessing game. So there's so many cases. The cases can go left and right just like that. It's not textbook. What you see in the book, you won't see in the case. So, like for us, we also pray a lot. Guidance talaga, we need the divine interventions we can get, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, ma'am.